The foundation of any goal in life is one thing, and that's discipline. Today I'm going to give you a math equation. Don't get mad. It's okay. It's good math to teach you how to add the joy back into your life when it comes to discipline. Let's go. Welcome to Phoenix Rising, a superior podcast for all of your transformative tools for personal and spiritual growth. Let's go get that nugget. Hey guys, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind, and welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you full of discipline when it comes to attaining your desires. You know, I was at an event this past weekend, a 3-day event, and it was a Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi event, and it's a business event, very motivating, very high energy. I don't know if you know anything about Tony or Dean, but they definitely bring it when they come to when they put on an event, and they had several speakers. And it was totally motivating and lots of teaching and lots of notes. And as a businesswoman, you know, I'm always looking to expand and looking to move to the next level. And how can I serve more? Well, if I want to serve more, I have to be more. And that's life, right? That's life. And I'll tell you that part in a minute. But when they had a speaker come in, his name is Steve Bartlett, and total cool guy, really, really cool discipline equation. And I want to share it with you today. I think he calls it the success equation, but it is, he made this great perspective where he's like, basically you take the diet market and the fad of all these diets. And he's like, it's kind of a mirage business because no matter what diet you're on, the bottom line is you will continue to go on this fad diet or, you know, do this diet, do that diet, chasing the magic pill. And the one thing that you need is discipline. He's like, that is the foundation of every goal, of everything that you want to achieve. And he said, the diet industry will be around forever and ever because that's the one piece that people are missing. They think that, oh, I just need to get on this diet, I just need to eat this whatever thing, or I need to drink this shake, or I need to, you know, take this pill or whatever, when in fact, what you need is discipline. Now, I love this equation. I really do. And the thing that I find to be so interesting is no matter what teacher I come across, I always take it a level deeper. And I found that to be interesting. Like that started when I was a personal trainer and my clients were coming in and, you know, so me as a personal trainer, I'm working with the musculature of the body, right? And then I worked for a chiropractor for, was it a year? I think I worked for him for a year and I was like his office manager and he was like, oh yeah, you know, the skeletal system of the body. And I say, and the thing is, you know, when I was a trainer, I would say, you know, go to a massage therapist, get the muscles to relax, come and go to a chiropractor, get everything in alignment, like physically in alignment, get an adjustment, you know, get all those things in your spine in alignment, and then come to me and we'll work on the muscles. Well, when I was working with my clients, I noticed that what they did need was basically an attitude adjustment. Now, what I didn't know back then is what they needed was alignment. And so that's where I work. I work at the energy level of the person. So no matter what it is you want, there's ways for you to get it. Somebody has probably done what you're looking to achieve. But what we need is discipline. And then I take this equation that I'm about to teach you, I take that equation and I go a level deeper and I work with alignment. So as we talk today about this equation, I want to then kind of do a part 2, which will be the alignment of either of the 3 parts of this equation. So if you haven't done it yet, go get your journal, go get your notebook, and I want you to write this down. And I'm going to call this The Art of Discipline is the name of this podcast. And this equation is, I don't know, I guess the success equation, the goal achievement equation. I think that's what he calls it. But either way, here's how it goes. And I did change the words a little bit, but it is right in alignment. And I might explain things a little bit differently than he does. His name is Stephen Bartlett. And you can find him on YouTube. And he's got a podcast and whatever. And I'm sure he explains this, 10 million times in his podcast because it's quite profound. But anyway, here it is. So discipline equals the power of your why plus the joy of the pursuit minus the cost of the reward. Now, let me define each of those pieces. Of course, discipline is basically focus. It's concentration. It's doing the thing over and over again until the result is achieved. It's discipline, right? It's focus. Okay, so that's that part. The power of your why is why do you want the goal? Why do you want to achieve it? And I've talked about this a number of times, and that is going levels deeper. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want the money? Why do you want a different job? Why do you want the love of your life? And then keep asking why, 5 to 7 times, and then you're really going to light the fire of why is it that you want the thing. Okay, I'll go into that a little bit deeper in just a second. So that's the power. It's the engine. It's the engine. It's why do you want that thing? Okay. The next is the joy of the pursuit. So I always use weight loss because I was a trainer for a long, long time, but it's always on somebody's mind. It's getting in better health. And there's a journey. There's a pursuit. There's a path that you're going to travel to attain that goal. You're going to move through space and time. You're going to get up in the morning. You're going to work out. You're going to drive to the gym. You're going to go for a walk. You're going to lift weights. The joy of the pursuit also has value. I worked with a number of people after I stopped training. They continued to call me and talk to me and basically have these obstacles that they wanted to get over. And they were like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to go to the gym. So their why was big, but the joy of the pursuit was low in the equation. And meaning, and I'll get to how the equation works in a second. The joy to them was like, it was so low, like, I don't want to go to the gym. I hate the gym. Okay. Well, if that's the case, likely for you to exert that behavior or exert that energy toward the goal is not going to result in very high results. You're not going to take the action to go get the thing if the joy is low and if the why is low. Okay. The cost of reward is what do you have to spend? Now, this is a couple different ways. I like to say you have to spend time, spend money, spend energy, or spend joy. So you have to spend time, money, energy, and joy. Okay? Now, a second ago, I just talked about the joy of the pursuit. Well, if something is easy, to me, that can be, it's just the path of, so maybe that would go under energy. But if something is easy versus difficult, it's maybe I don't want to put joy right there. So we'll just keep it at spend time, money, and energy. But I do want to figure out, I'm going to figure that out. Because if it's easy versus hard, it's like how much. It's not energy, because energy could still be how hard, when I was putting things together, I just created an ebook. It was hard. It was using a lot of different software pieces. I hired somebody to help me. I'm putting all these parts and pieces together. Now, this person I hired did not help me do the actual ebook like I did the ebook, but I hired her to kind of help me kind of kickstart it, and so it cost me money. It cost me time, lots and lots of time. And it did have this, difficulty. That's what I'm going to say. So it's the level of difficulty. That's what I'm going to put. And it did have a little bit of difficulty to it. So I want to have that in there. So when it's cost of the reward is what you're spending. You're spending time, money, energy, and the level of difficulty. So now watch this. So let's take weight loss because this is simple. And we're going to use going to the gym. Each of these 3 areas, just like a regular math equation, we're going to put a number in there. And so the power of your why. So you get all the way to the bottom that says you want to lose weight because you want a long, enjoyable life where you feel amazing. And let's say you're a new grandparent, and let's say you're 57 and you have a new grandbaby. Well, you want to live for 20 years to maybe watch that grandbaby graduate or develop into this young adult. And you want to be around for that. Not only do you want to be around, but you want to feel good. They're going to go to the parade. They're going to go to the beach. They're going to go on trips. And you want to go with them, and you want to be able to move easily and freely. And that fires you up. So in that equation, you're going to rate that. How fired up are you into getting your why on a scale from 1 to 10? and you rate that. So let's say that's an 8. Okay, so you put an 8 in that spot. Plus the joy of pursuit. Okay, so I want to get healthy. What is the most joyous way I can do that? Now, the first thing you think of, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, I hate the gym. Or you go in, you walk in the door to this gym and it's a bunch of muscle heads and they're playing like AC/DC and hard rock. The guy that shows up is not very nice and he's kind of a dink. And you're just like, no way am I going to hang out at this gym. And now that would be low. Now that the joy of the pursuit, if you had to go to that gym, that number would be terribly low. Then you see across the street, you see these ladies, you hear them laughing in the parking lot. They're laughing, they're having a good time, they have gym bags in their hand. And there's 3 of them. And they're laughing, and they're right around your age, and you see them walk into the gym. And so you get in your car and you drive across the street and you go into that gym. You are greeted with a smile. You're greeted with a lady who's just like maybe 10 years younger than you. And she tells you her name. It smells really good in there. It's really calming, joyous colors. It feels good. There's a locker room that has towels instead of paper towels. There's not a bunch of big giant men in there grunting while they're pushing weights around. There's very pleasant, upbeat music. The women there are smiling at you. There's lots of laughter and lots of energy. And you're like, heck yeah, this is where I want to work out. Now, the joy of that pursuit is a 10. Like, you are finding that it is so rewarding to be there. You feel like you're already part of the family. These girls go, hey, come on, are you going to work out today? Come on, come with us. My name's Linda. Hi, I'm Sophia. Hi, I'm Olivia. And they're like, oh, hey, come, and you're totally welcomed. Dude, that's a 10, right? The cost of the reward, this is minus, how much time are you going to spend? Well, now check this out. You could spend 5 days a week there for an hour each time. And you can, let's say it's $100 a month to be there. And let's say, of course, the energy, you're gonna expend a little bit of energy working out. There's treadmills, maybe there's a pool, maybe there's weights, there's bands, there's classes, there's those bikes, there's ellipticals, there's all kinds of equipment. And all these girls, they already kind of have their thing and they're just going to bring you in, right? Now, it's going to cost some money. It's going to cost some energy. And the level of difficulty now isn't that high. Because now I'm going to be with these girls that are welcoming me in and it feels amazing. Let's give that level of difficulty or the cost of reward a 5. So now let's do the math and let's see. What we want is, after we do the math, is we want it to be where we are in the positive numbers. Okay. So if you go 8 plus 10, because 8 is the power of the Y, 10 is the power of the pursuit, is 18. 18 minus 5 is 13. So now equals 13. That's your discipline, your level of discipline. What you probably want is for that to be the level of discipline to be like close to 20 as you can get. The goal is to get, if I did that math right, the goal is to get to 20 on the discipline side of things and the positive. So now I would say, if you had those pieces in place and you came out with that high of a number, then the likeliness of that behavior and that goal to be reached is pretty high, right? The number's high. The power of your why is high. The joy of the pursuit is high, and the cost of the reward is low. So now let's do one more. Let's say, let's use the same example. So your power of why, let's say, is, well, I've got some ill health. I've got some things happening. I've got high blood pressure. I've got some pain in my body. I'm overweight, and my doctor says I need to lose about 40 pounds. So my power of my why is low. Let's say it's a 5. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to have high blood pressure, but I do need to. But I still like ice cream. I still like pizza, and I really don't want to work out, and I'm kind of fine with my weight, but it's like this health thing. So my power of my why is not very high. It's kind of coming from this external. I didn't light the fire. My doctor is kind of doing it. Okay. So plus the joy of the pursuit. So let's say the joy of the pursuit, he says, I can go to this rehab center, and it's attached to the hospital. It's very mechanical. It's very, it's a medical facility. And I walk in there and they just hand me a bunch of paperwork, and it's just some young 20-year-old girl who's there, doesn't really welcome me, hardly looks up at me, hands me a clipboard with 20 sheets of paper on it and a pen that hardly works, and tells me to go sit over there and fill out the paperwork and bring the clipboard back when I'm done. And then I finally see a trainer, and he's not really paying much attention to me. He's half my age. He's looking at the girls around, and I'm overweight. And so I, of course, already don't feel sexy. And then here's this guy who's like looking at all the, the other girls. He's not really paying attention. I don't feel really good, and I'm feeling kind of self-conscious. So the joy of the pursuit is low. Let's say that's a 2. The cost of the reward is, I don't really have the why. I'm going to spend time here. Let's say I'm going to spend the same 5 hours a week, 5 days a week. I'm going to come in and meet with this trainer. Let's say the cost is even half the cost of the other gym with those fun ladies. Let's say it's $50 a month. The energy is not, I'm going to expend some energy. Of course, it's a workout, and the level of difficulty, maybe it's going to be harder. And here's the thing. It's going to be harder because this isn't a place I want to go. And this isn't a place that I want to feel, that I'm going to feel very comfortable. I don't feel welcomed. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like anybody really likes me or cares about me or anything. So now if we do this math, we take the 5 of the power of the why plus the 2 of the power of the pursuit, and we minus the 9, we get -2. Now, the likeliness, because we are in the negative, the likeliness is we're not going to continue that behavior, are we? The cost of attaining the reward is too high. Even though $50 a month, or it's right here, it could even be across the street from your house. But because it just doesn't feel good. Now, this is where I talk about alignment. But here's the thing. Take whatever it is you're working on and peel back the curtains and apply this equation to it. And then go, how do I add more on the joy of the pursuit and the power of the why side? How do I make those numbers bigger? So like in the beginning with the lady who was going to the gym, is she walks into this gym and she's like, oh, hell no. Hell no, am I going to work out in this gym? But then she went across the street. She didn't just give up. She went across the street and she found a gym. She found a way. She found a way to increase this equation. So then discipline is easy. We want that discipline number to be seriously high. Okay, so take your equation and figure out what's the weak area. Now, I was just thinking of this morning. It's been about 90 degrees here. And I don't know if you know this, I have 4 turtles. I've had my longest turtle actually was hatched. It was eggs that were found on a beach, and he is 24 years old. I got him, he was about the size of a quarter. I got him in the year 2000. It was probably May, the year 2000. So he's 24 years old. And the other ones are not quite as old as he is. I would say, I think the next oldest is probably 10 or 12. And then 7 and 10, or 7 and 8. No, 7 and 10 and 12. And then he's 24. And I've had these turtles for a long time. And I've had turtles for a long time, for 24 years. That's a long time. And I have this pond out front, and I have this, I'm making this big filter and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so this morning, it's super, super hot out, and I'm not feeling very good. It was a busy weekend. Our middle son, Brandon, who has autism, graduated from high school. So we had this grad party. And if you've ever put on a graduation party for any of your kids, it's a lot of planning and a lot of work to put it on. It was completely amazing. It was so great. He was so appreciative. He was so thankful. And so we were a little bit nervous, but anyway, it's a lot of work. So I'm still kind of recouping, right? So I'm feeling, this heat. It's like 94 degrees today, super hot, super humid, and super tired. And I'm like, man, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I think I want to lay down. Like, I'm just having a hard time getting going. And then all of a sudden, I find myself I just spring out of bed, and I'm going to make this filter, and the turtle pond is doing its thing. The why or what it's doing doesn't matter. And I'm like, I'm going to go get this bin. Doesn't matter what wire, whatever. All of a sudden, I was in the car and driving down the road, and I was a 10. Now, I applied while I was going. I'm like, 5 seconds ago, I couldn't keep my eyes open. And now I'm a 10, and I'm in this pursuit, right? I'm in the pursuit of this thing. Now, I was changing their filter. I created, it's called a bog filter. And so you basically need a good sized container, hence the bin. You fill it with rocks, you run the water through there, and it's supposed to clean your pond or your, in my case, it's like a pool that's about 212 gallons for the turtles. And anyway, so if I put that through this equation, the real reason that all of a sudden I went from 0 to 10 in my energy is that my power of my why, I really want my tank, I'm going to call it a tank, a pool pond. I really want it to be clean and clear and healthy for them. I mean, they're in this water, right? And the joy of the pursuit, getting in the car, going to get this thing, going to build this, and I have to kind of MacGyver it together with like PVC pipe and all this stuff. And I love that. That is a huge, huge thing for me. I didn't do it on purpose. But when I kind of peeled back, when I was in the car and I was kind of reflecting, I'm like, why is all of a sudden why do I have all this energy? Because I love the joy of the pursuit. You know, when I want to lose weight, I don't ever go to the gym. I have a quote gym here because I was a trainer for 25 years. So I have equipment here and dumbbells and bands and I have all kinds of stuff. And I work out here when I'm really isolating, but for the most part, I want to go outside. I want to go play. I want to do things. I want to go swimming, kayaking, biking, hiking, climbing. I want to do stuff like that and get my body in shape because it's in the pursuit. So I just found that to be sort of interesting that I literally went from 0 to a 10 because the part of the equation got lit up and those numbers were huge. Now, if you are sitting on the couch and you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, Jen, you know, I really want to lose weight. I don't have the energy to. This is where you're going to focus, is you're going to focus on raising the numbers of the power of the why, the joy of the pursuit, and lowering the number of the cost of the reward. When the equation is perfect, when the number, the end result, the discipline number, the rating of the discipline number, once you push all that through, you rate each area and you push those numbers through, and it's close to 20, dude, you're going to have the same energy that I did. I was literally like, I'm going to close my eyes. I was so tired to then in the car speeding down the road. And guess what? It is now 12 o'clock. I've been recording for a few minutes. I think by the time I got home, literally, you guys, 2 hours I worked on this filter. It's 95 degrees outside. You should have seen my face. It was red. I was sweating. And I have this one of those little kind of blow up pools in the backyard. It's like 10 feet across by 3 feet deep, and you kind of blow up the rim. It's blue. I just dove into that. I didn't dive. I didn't go head first, but I just dove into that after I was done, dried off, and then here I am recording. But I was working solid 95 degrees, 2 hours. I put this whole filter together, and I had all the energy for it because the equation had that equilibrium. It was balanced in a way that created this energy for me. So take your desire and push it through these numbers. Now, the thing that I would take further, that I would take this whole equation and go a little bit further, is the power of your why and the joy of the pursuit. Either of those things, both, I should say, not either, all of those things are going to have beliefs behind them. And we talk about limiting beliefs all the time. And the power of the why is, yep, I want this thing, I want this money, I want this partner, I want this body, I want this new job, whatever, is then right behind there is, yeah, but I don't deserve it. Yeah, but I'm not smart enough. Yeah, but I'm not good enough. Yeah, but blah, 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 blah. Okay, remember, your belief, the thing, your obstacle is right behind the butt. It's right behind, I would say this, is right behind your butt. Whatever your butt is, that's your limiting belief. Then we work there. We work at that energy and we go, okay, so here's the thing. I want to build this big coaching business. I want to reach lives. I want all of you that are listening to be in one room with me for the whole weekend so I can take you from here to here. And that's my low hands to my high hands. I want to help you achieve the dream that you're wanting to achieve, whether it's the body, the relationship, the job, the money, the career, whatever it is. I want to help you get there. Well, in order for me to get there, I have obstacles and I have to overcome them. So I was working after this event with Dean and Tony. I was working on my own limiting beliefs. You know, just because I talk here in this podcast or I teach over there in the groups or I coach or whatever, it doesn't mean that I have it all figured out. I will say I do have a lot of frameworks that really can help you figure it out, but I don't have all of the answers. I still have my own beliefs that I have to get through. I still went through a childhood, which is where we acquire all those beliefs, but I still have to figure out my why. And I go, you know what? I think my why would be okay if it was a 5. That's totally okay. I think I need my joy of the pursuit to be high. Just like the bin. The why, it's my turtles. I need them to be clear water. Okay, how big is that why? Well, it's important. I don't want that, right? But I would say that the joy of the pursuit outweighed the why, and I still came out on top, and that's why I just completed that job in 2 hours in 95-degree heat. I hope you're understanding this. I hope this is really kind of getting into your core beliefs, that you're really, truly allowing this to deepen within your being, that understanding that once I can have this discipline and I can start to increase my numbers, then I can have what I want. So when I was talking about this big coaching business, talking to Amy, that was a couple nights ago, and I said, yeah, but I just feel like it's going to be so much work. And she's like, okay, but what if it isn't? I'm like, I would want like 10 to 20 coaching clients, but it just feels like it would be overwhelming to manage all of those people. And she goes, what if you didn't have to manage them? What if you just met with them? What if you met with them twice a month on a virtual call, and then twice a year you met with them live and in person at some really cool resort? Would you like that? Well, shit, yeah, I would. Right? So now that belief is something different, because I had the belief of, yeah, I want that dream, but that feels like it's too much work. Okay, but what if it wasn't? I have a couple of clients now that are super easy. They don't bug me all day long. They don't require anything from me. They reach out a little bit, a couple of texts, a couple of emails, a little bit of Facebook messaging, and I just love it. And it's just kind of this even amount of conversation. It is not too much. I am not burdened by it. I really like it. Like, I feel like it's a good balance is what it feels like to me. And with that being said, can I create 10 or 20 more of those type of people? Well, yeah, they're out there. They're out there, right? So if that's the case, well, then guess what? Now my why got a little bit better. Now my joy of the pursuit, or the reward, actually that was the cost of the reward, went down, because I felt like, well, maybe that was the difficulty would be too much. I don't want the difficulty to be too much. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to look at that and go, okay, I don't think the cost is too high now. Now it doesn't feel like it's too much work. Then my numbers went up. Now I feel like I have some energy to create. So I hope that this is kind of digging in. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you took some notes. If you have any questions, particularly about this episode, because this is something I'm going to start doing, in my business and in my daily life and in my personal life. And Amy and I are starting to work this equation, and I find it to be really, really super cool. And we're going to add visualization. We're going to add meditation. We're going to add this is where I go a little bit deeper, is uncovering those limiting beliefs that don't work for us. And this is where life is going to get super exciting. Just like me when I just redid that filter today in 2 hours. I had no plans on doing that today. If you do have any questions, particularly about this or any of my other episodes, shoot me an email and tell me which episode you're asking about, and or come to my Lady Rising Facebook group and let's chat. Thank you for listening. If you liked that episode, please subscribe, like, or write a review. Let me know how that landed with you. If you'd like to support this podcast, please check out in the show notes where you can buy me a chai tea, or you can join my newest podcast membership for exclusive episodes, guided meditations, and transformative exercises that you won't find anywhere else. Bring your journal, open your heart, and let's get ready for some serious transformation.